When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down. No Trump. No KKK. No fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK. No fascist USA.
how do you spell fascism?
DHS.
How do you spell fascism?
DHS.
How do you spell fascism?
DHS.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
free them all,
Free them all. Free them all. Free them all. Free them all.
We treat these people like animals, and they're here in our city. They're here in our state, and we don't care enough about them. Fuck DHS!
defund DHS.
These are our kids! You have to protect our kids! Thank you.
No more kids in cages. No more kids in cages.
No one is illegal on stolen land. No one is illegal on stolen land. No one is illegal on stolen land. No one is illegal on stolen land.
You know, I just want to say something directly to him. Chad Wolf, if you're listening to me, que chingue su madre pinche puto.
Even just last week, there have been more ICE raids in D.C., and more people are continuing to be sent to detention facilities in Virginia. So this keeps happening, and will keep happening as long as DHS exists. The agency isn't even 20 years old. I remember when it was first created. I remember seeing, and I was in college at the time, I remember seeing the number of international students drop to about a quarter of the level it used to be.
I went to Portland for a week, and while I was there, they used copious amounts of tear gas, as we've all seen on the live feeds. One of the most fucked up parts to me about the tear gas is right where we were protesting, there was a jail, and all of the tear gas kept wafting into the jails. So you had the people who were inside of it slamming on their panic buttons because they were stuck in their cells, unable to breathe. One of those people happened to be a pregnant woman. I don't know if you guys know much about tear gas, but tear gas is an aborticide. So that means that she could very well lose her pregnancy from being stuck in a jail cell. Save the post office. I've never been there.
Pull the trigger after you turn it on, and then on the side. Yeah, it's on speed. So you pull the trigger and you're talking to this.
I don't know who really is that really
Reallocate.
is.
Yeah,
A known weapon.
Yeah,
in
so
Portland
one of the
against
most
that.
messed up things was that while we were there, a woman who was pregnant was stuck inside of her jail cell, unable to breathe because tear gas was wafting into it. And tear gas being an aborticide means that she could very well lose her child from the now weeks-long amounts of tear gas that she's been exposed to while she was in there.
This is our chance to do something different. To say we're not going to let this happen anymore. We're stopping now. We're stopping here. We keep us safe. That's a rallying cry for mutual aid around the U.S. That's what we're trying to do. We keep us safe. Not DHS, not the police, not the government. We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe. We keep us safe. We keep us safe.
Senator Harris, at a hearing on Thursday on Capitol Hill, asked Chad Wolf, has DHS researched the effects of chemical irritants on pregnant women? He said, well, on the effects for crowd dispersal, yes. Has DHS researched the effects on pregnant women? No. Okay, you are a cabinet member of the Trump administration. You guys like to talk about how you don't support abortion, and you are dusting First Amendment practicing peaceful American citizens with abortion gas. So let's be real about what the values are of this administration. Why are we here making Chad Wolf uncomfortable? Why? So that he can also see all of the neighbors in his community who are also already uncomfortable, who don't need to be made uncomfortable. We are all uncomfortable. I lost my job when Trump decided that he was going to ban transgender people from working in the military. I was a contractor at the time, supporting what? Logistics mission in order to make the F-35 cheaper. Kind of an expensive project, right? You would think that'd be something that we want. Well, not if trans people are involved, right? Not if trans people are involved.
Chad Wolf has got to go.
Hey, hey! Oh, ho! Chad Wolf has got to go! Hey, hey! Oh, ho! Chad Wolf has got to go! Hey, hey! Oh, ho! Chad Wolf has got to go!
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Chad Wolf has got to go!
Chad Wolf has had a lot to say about how resisting peaceful protesters is a part of the war on terrorism.
I don't feel like a terrorist.
If tear gassing peaceful protesters is part of a war being waged by the United States, we are a part of a thing called the Geneva Convention, which bans the use of all chemical weapons, including gas. So if you were going to give American citizens human rights, then you would give an enemy combatant in a war zone. I think that paints a pretty clear picture of why we're out here right now.
Ban tear gas!
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 Last night I saw a report that there may be a COVID spike in Portland right now. That is the only city that's had a lot of protests that has that issue right now, and I think we all know why. Tear gas makes people cough. Tear gas makes people take off their masks. The CDC, a long time ago, told the police not to use tear gas or pepper spray so long as the pandemic exists. Chad Wolf here, if any person in Portland dies from COVID, whether they're at a protest, got it from somebody that got it because of the tear gas, or got it from somebody that got it for that reason, however far down the line it goes, anyone dies of this outbreak in Portland, their blood is on Chad Wolf's hands.
You guys can quit your jobs and do something ethical to serve your country. There are ethical things you can do to serve your country. Yeah, there's landmines to clean up. There's humanitarian aid to do. You know? Work for the Postal Service, you know? Help ensure the integrity of our election. Make sure that people's mail-in ballots get in there. Right?
Work at election polls.
Yeah, you can go work at the polls.
A healthy individual should work at election polls.
All kinds of useful careers.